Leetcode 125, valid palindrome. It's an easy problem and it opens up the whole class or the whole space of similar problems where you have to do something with palindromes. So maybe you have a text and you have to find all the palindromes inside, or you need to find the longest palindrome, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this is the easiest one, and the palindromes are quite common. Maybe not extremely common, but you will find many problems on Leetcode and related websites with palindromes. So it's a good idea to know how to check for single string if it's a palindrome or not, and that's exactly this problem. And the description is as follows: a phrase is a palindrome if after converting all uppercase letters into lowercase letters and removing all non-alphanumeric characters, alphanumeric meaning that we keep both letters and numbers, it reads the same forward and backward. Alphanumeric characters include letters and numbers. They explain it here again. Given a string S, return true if it's a palindrome or false otherwise. So that's our input. And for that input, we have two options. It's a Boolean output. And of course, we return true for palindrome and false if it's not a palindrome. And we have three examples: a man, a plane, a canal, Panama. Yeah, and this is supposedly a palindrome because once you remove all the spaces, all the commas or the colons, then you end up with that string. Yeah, and of course you also convert uppercase to lowercase, and this one is a palindrome because you can check the last letter is the same as the first. Yeah, first the same as the last. Then you move one from the first, so the second letter, and the second last is also the same, and M, then A, and so on and so forth. I will not read all of that. It already burns my brain, so I trust them. It is a palindrome. Second example: race a car, ends up being race a car like this with no spaces, and it's not a palindrome because RR, AA, CC, but here you have E and A. Yeah, they are not the same. And an edge case, interesting edge case, empty strings or just spaces, just non-alphanumerics are ignored. So we end up with an empty string after stripping them out, and we have a palindrome. Yeah, since an empty string is also a palindrome. Now let's create some examples. Madam, it's an interesting palindrome. And how do we check for the validity? Following way. First, we do this pre-processing. Yeah, or we do both together. Yeah, but let's first separate the pre-processing from the actual check. And the pre-processing means remove all non-alpha numerics. Yeah, all the spaces and so on, plus turn lowercase. Turn lowercase like this. And this is not correct, alphanumerics like this. And let's make it a little bit bigger, put it back here. And the second thing is check if it reads the same right to left and left to right. And of course, we can separate it. I think this is cleaner, but we will take more space since each time we do any changes in a string, in Python, we have to create a new string. Yeah, so this will be a little bit more excessive and more demanding for the resources, but cleaner. Yeah, and the second option is to do everything together. And for the check, again, we have multiple options. So The classic one is use 2 pointers or 2 indices. One starts here from the beginning, the other one starts at the end. And you move that one from that starts at the beginning from left to right, and the other one in the opposite direction. Yeah, so start at the end, and then you move it towards the start. And each time you compare if the letters are the same. Yeah, so first you check if the first and last letter is the same. Then you move this and this. You check if those letters are the same. And finally they meet. And this is the last check you have to do. And if all the checks were okay, that means that it's a palindrome. If at any point in time, let's say here, you have something that doesn't work, so M and M is okay, then we move A and X. Yeah. If you at any point in time find a single one that doesn't match, you can already return false and say it's not okay at this point already. So two options for the check. Either use 2 indices and move them towards each other, or if you want to be more Pythonic but also take more resources, use reversed. I said, since there is a built-in in Python called reversed, which will just reverse, and you can your string or your list, whatever you have, and you can compare if the result of this operation is the same as your original string, and if it's the same, then it is a palindrome from the definition. And compare with the original string, and of course by original I mean the one after pre-processing. And now let's use that knowledge and check it here. I try to convert to Python. So first we can turn lowercase, so s becomes s lower. Then we can remove all the non-alphanumeric characters. And for that, we'll need to create a new string. Yes, since each time you change something in your string, you have to create a new one to save the result. And for each character in the original one, after we convert it to lowercase, if this character is alphanum, I think that's the way to check it. And then we can add it to the clean word. Otherwise, we disregard it. And now we can use 2 pointer to check if it's a palindrome, one starting from the start, other starting from the end. And while they are different, and one goes from left to right, the other from right to left, at some point they meet. But before that, we need to check if clean word on index I is the same than clean word on index J. Yeah? If not, then we return false. Otherwise, we continue. Yeah, we move the indices, one to the left, one to the right. And then we return true. Let's see. Yeah, has no attribute alphanum. Maybe like this. Alnum, okay. like this. And yes, this one is wrong. Let me check. Clean word chain. Let's run again. Oh, and now it's okay. Let's see on all the cases, and we have all the cases correct, but we are a little bit slow. But if we recheck, probably we will get a different result. So now we are very fast. So let's do the second approach, where we don't bother with all of that and simply check return clean word is equal to join for the result of reversed. If they are the same, then we can safely say that it's a palindrome. So instead of bothering with those loops, we can just use that. And we are even faster. But that's because and the test cases are not properly prepared. And if you run it again, probably you can get very different result. Yeah, so don't always pay attention to it. It's not always accurate. And the third option, which I want to do now, is to mix this with this, meaning we don't have to create any new strings. We can just, while we iterate, check, and only do if it's an alphanumeric, and only do this check for alphanumerics. Otherwise, we progress the indices. So that would be the next option, and there are, of course, even more options to check for palindromes, but I guess that should be enough to show or to give you an idea how to do it.